Okay, so in our next item that we're going to talk about is, now that we know a graph is basically a visualization of data, right? What happens when we just have data? What do we do? What decisions do we have to make? And again, first of all, we're going to need two different number lines, right? One representing the number of units that I have, and one representing the price that I have. Standing operating procedure is, this is usually the horizontal information in the first column and vertical information in the second, X and Y respectively, if you want to go there. So the first thing I got to do then is figure out, okay, so we're going to basically put data, right, on this axis. It's the price, let's say it's in dollars, and on this axis we're going to put the number of units. Okay, so now I've orientated who's who. Next business I have to think about is, well, how do I want to scale it? You don't want to start scaling this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like we have been doing, because take a look at the data. Right, it starts off at 0, then to 20, 40, 60, and 80. So looking at that, it looks like everything is separated by 20s. Although if you wanted, you could do 10s, right? But I would, maybe even 5s. But definitely, 20s at a minimum. You probably, again, don't want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I don't know if you want to go out 80 tick marks. But I'm going to go 20s, right? And so again, we're going to evenly space that. So there's 20, there's 40, there's 60, there's 80, and there'd be 100 if we had to go out that far. So again, we're trying to equally space my number line. We call that scaling, by the way. So the scaling of my units, we're going to scale everything by 20s. Now let's take a look at the price. The price at its highest is 75, and it goes down 25, another 25, and then up 25, and up 25. So again, lots of choices to make here, but probably the best choice is to basically use 25. So there's 25, there would be 50, there would be 75, and there would be 100 if I had it. So for the way the price is scaled, the way the data is presented, a scale might be a nice perfect 25. There's no exact science to this, right? You have to look at the data, you have to get a feel, and then you make the decision. So I decided to cut my unit axis up into 20s, and I decided to cut my price axis into 25s. And now we can start plotting the data. Okay, so when we have a price of 0, we have a unit of 0, there's no units, I have a price of 75. Okay, when I have 20 units, I have a price of 50. And so I'm using a scatter plot to basically present the data. When I have 40 units, I have a price of 25, which takes me about right there. When I have a unit of 60, I have a price again at 50. And then when I have 80 units, I have a price again at 75. And so there is what the visualization of that data would look like. And now, you might not have seen that. You probably could get a feel that it's going up or down and up, but we can really see that it's going down and up. As a matter of fact, as you guys learn more, some of my students in a 150 class might see this as a absolute value graph, or my 120 students might see a parabolic graph. Okay, it's definitely not linear, that's for sure. But again, we can start answering questions, we can fit a function to it, all right, all that other good stuff. But that is basically how we are going to plot graph data. All right, so we have to figure out who's horizontal and who's vertical. Again, usually the first column is the horizontal x-axis, the second column is the vertical y-axis. Then we have to worry about scaling, right? How do I choose to scale my number lines? And then we can start plotting the data. I chose to use a scatter plot. Of course, we could have used a line graph, right? Or we could have even used a bar graph to represent that. That, again, is a choice that you would make. So there's basically how we start to visualize given data, and we're just going to keep on building on our skill set. See you guys in the next video.